everybody. Welcome to the Hallmarkies podcast. We're so excited today to have another one of our Hall Star actors here with us to talk about their upcoming film, Finding Love in Mountain View, that's coming up this weekend on Hallmark Channel. We have Myko Olivier here. And Myko, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Hey, Hall Star here, Myko Olivier. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, thanks for coming. So what we like to do is just start out our interviews asking what inspired you to become an actor, to get into acting?
Well, I think I like the idea of playing and pretending to be other people. And I think that's a draw for a lot of people, getting to dress up and make believe that you are somebody else and live their life. And I think I also was drawn to the idea of traveling and experiencing the world through someone else's eyes, you know? So I get to do that as an actor. And I've been lucky enough to do that in Hallmark movies and in television shows and other stuff.
Was it something you started when you were young, acting?
Yeah, the very first thing I ever auditioned for was a local theater production of Oliver. And I had seen the movie and I was like, I want to be the Artful Dodger. And my mom's like, well, you know, no, don't get your hopes up. I mean, like, she was encouraging, but she was like trying to curb my enthusiasm because I don't want to, I was like, I'm going to be so I'm going to go and be Dodger because he's the fun one. And I got cast as one of the Dodgers. I was lucky there were multiple because we're kids, you know, to cycle us in. Right. I wasn't the number one Dodger, but I was out there.
And I got a taste Tuesday, Thursday Dodger.
Yeah. But I also got a taste for it. It was pretty funny. When I wasn't Dodger, I was the one of the Lost Boys, and I got a habit of being the like a little ham, and I would upstage actors. Like it'd be like Fagin and Oliver and Dodger in the center stage, be like, and after some consideration, then some random Lost Boy on the side just like, ah.
That's funny.
They're grabbing attention. Yeah. My parents love to bring that up. It's like one of those moments as an actor where we think back, like, oh boy, we have like a slight cringe moment. You're like, oh no, it's all right. Everything turned out okay. Wasn't that embarrassing?
Do you think of that when you're working with child actors, like you were in this film, most recent film?
A little bit. I never did any camera acting when I was a kid, but I think one of my main goals whenever I work with a kid is I want to make sure that they feel safe and comfortable on set, especially because we have to have a relationship, like something that they can see on screen where it has to provide history of our past, you know? So it's like, I've been there in this movie. I was their counselor and a pseudo guardian. So like we had to be very close. So I just make sure that we play games in between takes and stuff. Honestly, I probably got them in more trouble by getting them rowdy and rambunctious, but it shows on camera. I feel like we connected throughout the movie. And I think that's what I always think about whenever I act with kids, is just like, make sure that they're comfortable with you so that they're not, you know, self-conscious or blocked by not knowing you. You know, it's easy if they know you're their friend.
You want it to seem natural.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So you're an actor and a singer, is that correct?
Yes. Yeah, I'm an actor and a singer. I don't sing much anymore. I did musical theater, obviously Oliver, and then I was in Big River, and in college I did some musical theater. I was Guido in 9. I'm not sure how familiar you are with that show, but well, 9 was also a movie with Daniel Day-Lewis. I saw that almost like a year or two after I did 9, and I was like, oh man. Not that it was bad, it was just not what I was hoping.
Yeah. That's probably his worst movie, right?
I mean, I don't, he's still good in it. Like, I don't blame actors for movies not being what I want them to be. You know, there's a lot of things that go into movies that are outside of the actor's control, and sometimes outside of the director's control based on what the producer wants from the film. So
especially in a musical.
Yeah, it's just too bad because you know, especially in the last 10 years, there have been so many good movie musicals I would love to be a part of, but
this year has been crazy. Like so many musicals. You got In the Heights, Dear Evan Hansen. Everybody's talking about Jamie. Then we have West Side Story coming up. We've got animated musicals, Vivo and Encanto. This new Cinderella. There's just tons.
Right. And Little Mermaid coming out eventually. I don't know if that's this year, but
true too.
Yeah. So yeah, lots of
So
stuff going on and lots of stuff to be excited about. I mean, we got very
yeah,
excited about it in the Heights when it came out because
it was
my
so
wife and
good.
I
It's so
listened to
underrated.
it was great. It was fantastic. I saw it. I saw the original production because I was at NYU when it came out,
Oh,
and
really?
yeah, and I had a
Oh,
design teacher that was doing costumes on it, so it was
oh
like
man,
very exciting. I also had a friend that apparently helped produce it, so that was an
that's so
interesting
cool.
experience. I mean, when I say friend, I mean acquaintance from school who I was like, oh, cool, that's cool. I don't know you really, but like I've seen you.
Yeah, it counts.
Yeah, it counts.
Who's
I
to
could
know?
be like, I know that guy.
Yes. So you got to, I think, flex your musical abilities in when you were on Glee.
Well, I definitely, yeah. I remember the audition process was pretty interesting getting to go in that room and well here's my main memory from Glee is that yeah I can sing and I definitely auditioned with a bunch of songs. My go-to is always play that funky music, so I definitely sang that. And now whenever I go in for UDK, they always say, "Hey, so we're gonna do this song. Hey, do play that funky music, no matter what I go in for." Like I've gone in for Zoe's Endless Playlist a few times. They're like, "Do play that funky music," because they just loved it
Mhm.
so much, I guess. But my experience on Glee that I always remember is where I do have rhythm and I can dance. I am not a dancer, so that
Mhm.
was much harder for me to focus on because I was in my 20s, and a lot of the kids that they hired as dancers to be the other warblers were late teens, or just over 18. So trying to keep up with them, they were very, very good. And hopefully they made me look good too. But boy, I felt old around them.
Yeah, I am a terrible dancer. So you're incredible. I mean, I just have very little natural rhythm because I'm a little bit dyslexic, so it's bad. So
I'm
I'm sure
dyslexic
you
too,
did
actually.
great.
Yeah, I'm dyslexic.
Yeah,
So
yeah, it's tough.
I just had to put a little extra effort into it.
Hmm.
I had to.
Yeah.
We had rehearsal days, and I would meet up with the choreographer, whoever it was that day, and usually Brittany would come next to me and help me a little special attention on what the heck I was doing, um, and but I eventually got it, and
Hmm.
it was so much fun, and everyone was so nice and helpful.
Hmm.
I would do it again
So
in a
you were
heartbeat.
on Castle, some
Mhm.
episodes of Castle, and that seems like a fun group. Nathan
That was very
Fillion.
fun. Nathan Fillion was very welcoming, especially that was my
Hmm.
first like real TV show. I'm trying to think.
Hmm.
I got two roles right in a row. I was in Sam and Cat and that at about the same time. But I think Castle was first because I had a mustache and I had done like an independent feature right before that where I had a mustache. It was another movie musical. I was like a John Oates type character. It was called Eternity.
Oh,
And yeah, I did a little bit of singing in that. It was mostly the other guy because I was like the backup singer, but it was a lot of fun. And I still had the mustache, and it worked for the pie character, who's like this hippy dippy fruitarian. And
hmm.
I all the personalities were very different on that show, but Nathan Fillion was very welcoming. And I
Hmm.
think we on our very first rehearsal, I made him laugh, and I was like, oh, cool. I did it. I made Nathan Fillion laugh.
Like I'm hilarious.
Yeah,
Good.
nailed, crushed it.
We'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. Best-selling author Melody Carlson has enchanted readers with her uplifting Christmas tales for decades. Now she invites fans to journey overseas to the beautiful French Alps in the delightfully romantic Christmas novella about family, love, and a hidden treasure in A Christmas in the Alps. Pick up Christmas in the Alps wherever you purchase your books or use our affiliate link in the description below. For more information on Melody Carlson, please visit her website, https melodycarlson.com. That's melodycarlson.com.
Do you prefer? I know doing these movie of the week films are pretty intense. So would you prefer like doing a regular show where it's less intense, or doing the having the shorter commitment? I don't know. What's the difference between the two as far as
What do you mean in terms of like being a
your
series regular on a show
yeah,
or
yeah,
being
yeah.
on a movie?
Yeah.
I mean, the series regular, right?
Yeah.
Every actor wants the consistent work. We love all actors like shooting movies. There's something great about that. It's like it's like a paid vacation. The majority of our work is auditioning and trying to get parts. And when we actually get to go on a movie, especially when you have to fly somewhere that you've never been, because I had never been to Arkansas before. Mountain View takes place in Mountain View, Arkansas. And while it's not like traveling to Australia or something, it is like this interesting culture shock for someone from Los Angeles, you know, like learning, oh yeah, this is like the bluegrass capital of the world. It's a very interesting place to be. I would have never thought about coming here, but I'm very glad I did. Like people were out on their porches playing bluegrass music with instruments and fiddles, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. Like it almost like it almost felt like the movie version of a little mountain town, you know, like they really did that, and it was super cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, to answer your question, I still probably want the series regular role to have consistent work and to help me book those movie roles that I can go do the vacation movie on.
Make it all work.
Go fly to Hawaii and shoot some.
That makes sense. That makes sense. So on your IMDb, you have, I think it's from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the clip of you doing some action. I think, what is that like when you have to do that kind of thing?
Well, I think my favorite genre of film is comedy action, like action comedies. Growing up, I feel like True Lies and Last Action Hero, like a lot of Arnold Schwarzenegger, like funny stuff I still love it. Like one of my favorite movies is Scott Pilgrim versus the World, which is like a comic book version, a video game version, I should say, because there's so many references to it, of an action comedy. And actually anything Edgar Wright does, he's so good. Although his next film looks very serious. It's good, like
I've heard that out of, but I've heard that out of TIFF or wherever. But that looks like it would be challenging to like figure out all that choreography and the fight scenes and stuff.
They needed, because I'm a telepath, they needed me so that they could make me look like a badass. Like I knew what move was going to come, you know? And so it was a lot of similar to learning dance choreography, except because I was supposed to know what was coming, I had to make it look a little more effortless. So all I had to do was just like little simple stuff like, oh, a knife's coming at my head. I reach up, grab it, you know, and with a big production like that, you know, they make everything look so good. They did have a stunt double, but they had to use a lot of me because they needed a lot of my face while doing the moves. And that's really fun.
That's cool. That's really cool. I was going to ask earlier, actually. So I'm curious, where does your name come from? I've never heard the name before.
Well, I often say, I'm going to like ruin it right now, but I often say my name is Greek because it's like Mykonos. Although as soon as I tell people that, you know, they think of Mykonos and they call me Myko, you know, but my name is actually Michael, and my name is Myko Olivier. So I developed the name Myko in high school. Nice. And people used to call me, because everyone's named Michael. Everyone in the world is named Michael. There's too many of us. So I was Mike O at my high school. And then at some point, I don't remember even how MYKO came up, but it was just like a fun way of spelling it. And I stuck to it.
I like it. I think it's creative.
Yeah, thank you very much. Whenever I don't want to explain all that, I just go, it's Greek, you know? Because they could be like, yeah, it's all Greek to me.
Nice.
It is actually, it's also, Myko is actually a popular Japanese woman's name. I've met a couple Mykos, though I think usually it's spelled Maiko.
Okay. Yeah, I actually thought, I wonder if he's like your mother's Japanese or grandmother or something like that. And I thought maybe there was something there. So that's interesting. I like it. I like just creating your own name. Yeah, very good. Okay. So this Finding Love in Mountain View, you actually shot this in Arkansas, huh? I didn't realize that.
Yeah. A lot of people from California are familiar with Mountain View, California, because there is one up by the Bay Area. And I have a friend there who keeps posting like supportive posts being like, hey, watch my friend from, you know, film in my hometown. And I have to be like, hey, we've talked about this. It's not in California. It is Mountain View, Arkansas. In fact, a whole big theme of the movie is city girl goes back to the country. Mountain View, California ain't very country.
No. I mean, I just assume most of these movies are shot in Vancouver, so I figured it was Vancouver pretending to be Arkansas.
You know, it's a weird thing in this film industry when there's a lot of like financial breaks, and I think sometimes they just want a more authentic vibe for what they're going for. In this case, I think they're going for that. They wanted more of a country, like rural community, and Mountain View was that. And although it's based on a book called Mountain View, Oregon, Finding Love in Mountain View, Oregon.
Oh, really?
There's a lot of mountain
So
views.
It could have been Vancouver.
It could have been Vancouver. But I think just for what the producers wanted, that was more the vibe that they were going for. And I've done movies. I was a Menendez brother. So that's a story that takes place in Los Angeles in August of 1992, I believe. And we shot that in Vancouver in January and February. So I had to be outside in the snow in short shorts. So you never know why you have to go somewhere. It could be money reasons. It could be creative reasons. But
either way, it's on the plane. Yeah, exactly.
It's traveling. It's experiencing a new place. It's developing a second home and a new family.
Yeah. So why don't you tell our audience? I've had a chance to see the film. I enjoyed it. I thought it was really sweet. But why don't you tell our audience a little bit about the movie and what your role is?
Yes, I agree with you. It's a very adorable movie, and I'm actually very proud of it. I can't wait for my mom to see it. She's been asking to see it. And she always wants to see me in a nice role because, like I said, I've been a Menendez brother, So, anyway, this story is about a woman named Margaret. She's a single woman. No, she's not a single woman. Sorry, she does have a boyfriend, but she has a career. What?
She's unmarried.
She is unmarried. Yes. She's an unmarried woman, has a boyfriend, has a career, but she's missing something in her life. And then she gets a call from her cousin's attorney because her cousin has died. And in her will, she has named Margaret as the guardian of her children. And she was very close with her cousin when she was younger, but hadn't really seen her in a while. So it's kind of like a shock to her. So she goes back to Mountain View to reacquaint herself with the kids and find out what to do about the situation she's been put in. And when she gets there, she meets me, Myko Olivier. Sorry, Andrew. I said Myko Olivier, the guy playing Andrew, her former boyfriend from high school, and now the school counselor to the kids and pseudo guardian. He's helping out around the house because their aunt isn't, capable to do everything by herself. But yeah, so it kind of just rekindles some relationship there. And I don't want to give away too much of the story, but she forms a relationship with these children, and so she finds love not only in, again, she has a boyfriend, but there's the other guy at home who's so good with kids, and he's he's got his heart's in the right place, and he's more of a family man, that kind of thing, So there's some tension there, and she finds love in family. That's what I think is important about this story. A lot of people think it's like a romance just between her and me, but it's really about finding love in family, and that's what these kids provide. It's the thing that she didn't know she needed.
Yeah, I liked the chemistry between you and Danielle. And was that something that you had like a chemistry read for? Did you work on that?
No, actually, this part was offered to me. I was sent this script coincidentally on the day of my aunt's death. My Aunt Marie died on September 9th, 2019. And I got the script and was like, wow, this is very relatable immediately, because the script starts with a family member dying. And I also identified with the two lead kids, Sammy and Joel, with my cousins, Delaney and Spencer. And I kept relating to the script so much because I understood her. I mean, not that I was in the same situation, but I understood her plight. She's put in a situation where she didn't know. This was kind of thrown onto her amidst, a family tragedy.
Yeah.
And trying to find light in all the darkness. So the script kind of spoke to me, and I got to say yes to it. And then when I got there, that's when I met Danny. So I met Danny while doing photo shoots for the movie. So the poster, that's us meeting.
Oh, really?
Which is funny how we do that. And then our first scene is, of course, like our romantic scenes. And they do that a lot in movies. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's like the hidden magic of like, well, let's get this out of the way in case these people end up hating each other. And we can at least fake some kind of relationship.
True. Maybe risky saving it for the last day.
I guess, yeah. But it seems to work out that way a lot. And so yeah, it was kind of like learn to like each other quick, form a relationship.
Yeah.
But we get along very well. We're very fortunate because we get along and the kids get along. We created our own little set family. I felt very attached to them.
Yeah, I feel like you can feel that in the movie, that there is that closeness, which isn't always the case. Sometimes the chemistry is just not there. And it must be the most frustrating thing because everything can look right on paper. And then it just, for whatever reason, working. Yeah.
It doesn't matter. If the actors are great individually, but don't have the chemistry, what are you watching it for? You know, I understand that plight. Would probably be frustrating for the director and frustrating for each actor not to be able to connect with the other person, I suppose. But
yeah, definitely.
I'm glad that we come across well, and I'm glad that you see the relationship that we formed on set.
I think so, definitely. And there's some singing in this movie. What was that like as far as doing the singing?
That was a lot of fun. We goofed around to make it a little bit easier. Like I told you, I'm familiar with singing, but Danny doesn't sing that often. She actually has a great voice, and she's very shy about it for no real reason other than it's a common fear to have like stage fright if you're I don't know. I don't want to say self-conscious about your voice, but she's got a beautiful voice and she's a great performer. And I think a lot of the time, like I do with kids, is try and make it a game, right? I was singing like Kermit the Frog half the time. Like it'd still play a laugh track, and not laugh track, music track, so that we can sing along with it on camera. And then the kids also sang with us, but it was trying to make sure that we all had a good time. Because if you're having a good time on camera, we'll make it look good. Like the singing is secondary. It'll be you just want to have a good time. Because honestly, even if we were terrible singers, what you're watching is the relationship. You're not going to like, here's the song part. Yes, I've been waiting for the music. You are trying to watch the relationship happen. And
but what I liked about it though, is because sometimes you can just feel in these movies, you can feel someone just begging for a recording contract. You know, it's like, here, how great a singer I am, as opposed to just like, I'm just hanging out with my family, playing a song, like just that more sort of casual singing, which I like way better than the ooh, whatever kind of a thing this night you get. And I just like, I thought that worked. It added to the scene, because when they're obviously like when they're trying too hard, then it takes you out of the movie. All of a sudden and so I liked that this was just like a family home evening, kind of a like sitting with, playing a song on the guitar. Like that to me worked way better.
I mean, sometimes it like I was saying, I think the music can be so much more secondary to what the emotion is, and so much more important. I think one of the best performances I ever saw was of a song was a friend of mine in college. Her name's Grace Folsom. She's a great actress, but she hates singing and she's like terrified of it. And she did a play where they made her sing a song, but the character was extremely vulnerable. And so when she sang, it didn't sound great. And I'm not like putting her down, like it didn't sound like a trained singer was singing the song, but boy, we felt for her. And whether she was using her real emotion from the fear of singing, but like I was crying, and I think she was like a bird singing a song, and it was beautiful. It doesn't matter what the words are or how great your voice is. We want to connect with you as an audience member. So
I agree completely. This is pretty cool. You had a female director on this film.
Yeah.
Sandra, so that must have been pretty cool.
I've had a fair amount, actually. I love my female directors. They're very there's no difference really. It's just, a different person directing the movie. I'm some of my favorite directors. My person I constantly work with is Maggie Levin, and I worked with her on Miss 2059. Anna Akana was also a director on that. And I think and the other Hallmark movie I did was also had a female director. So I think it's wonderful. I mean, it's not like a new experience, if that's what you were asking.
Yeah, no, I think that's great.
But it is good that there's representation. I've got a fair amount of women directors, and Sandra is, among them. She's great.
Which is the other Hallmark movie that you did?
I did a Hallmark movie called Ultimate Legacy.
Oh.
It is similar in that a relative dies and I'm left a bunch of money, and I have to jump through some hoops that are in the will in order to get my inheritance. And that's kind of like learning humility by doing that. And that was
yes.
That was directed my fun aunt, Joanne Hawk. That's not she's not actually my aunt, but that's what she liked to call herself. My fun aunt.
I love it when people manipulate their relatives from beyond the grave in these movies. But I think there should be some kind of law that, like, you have to notify loved ones if you're going to give your children to them.
There's some similar things. You should absolutely contact them before you're put in the will. By the way, you have kids now.
Yeah.
Surprise. But you know what's great about that is that it also helped me identify with the antagonist. Not that he is actually an antagonist, but Jean-Paul Lavoisier, another Frenchman with an EA name. I identified with him a lot while reading the script. I was like, this guy didn't ask for this. He's got his career. Granted, he's a little like self-absorbed, and he kind of expects Margaret to just do what he has planned for life. But I understand that he's kind of thrown into an impossible situation, especially for someone that may or may not want kids at all. He's kind of like, well, I love you, but this is not what I want out of life. You only get one of them, right? So it's tough because that's not, she needs to go after what she wants to, and that's kind of, I don't want to ruin anything, but that is the tension in their relationship.
Well, and it's also got to be hard when a certain person, you think you're on the same page with a certain person, and then she has this huge thing change her whole perspective really fast. Right. And maybe you're not going to be able to change as fast as she's able to change. I mean, I can't even imagine. My mom had babies when I was in high school. She had one when I was 10, one when I was 16, and one was when I was 18. And I used to worry about that if something happened. Oh no.
Now you're mom, now you gotta step in.
Yeah.
I gotta step in for the baby. I'm only 18.
Thankfully, nothing like that happened. But yeah, I just can't imagine what that would be like to go from being single to all of a sudden trying to raise two children.
Yeah,
that would be really hard.
Didn't Jack Nicholson have a similar situation where he thought his sister was his mother because he thought his mother was his sister because his mother had a baby very young and was raised by his grandmother thinking it was his mother. Something fun and crazy like that. But like, having a kid changes your life. Even if you're not born with it, one can get dropped in your lap, apparently.
Evidently.
Right.
Yeah. But we already talked a little bit about the kids, but I thought they were really cute in this, and they weren't like too like adorable mop top. Like they felt like regular kids to me.
So they had very distinct personalities. Luke was a little bit more reserved and focused, and Skylar was a goofball and bouncing off the walls, and she's great. And she's spunky, like they had their own very distinct personalities. And again, they made me think of my cousins like to a T in their exact relationship. And and I thought they were great. They were very funny. Luke was very into magic. I knew like one magic trick. I showed him on the first day, and he's like, "All right, well, let me show you." And I'm like, "Okay, all right, I'll step back. You win."
That's funny. I also liked Natalie Cannerday in the movie. I thought that I think she's a really
As
good
Bertha?
actress, and
She is
I
great.
thought she did a great job.
A good motherly, almost grandmother, matriarch. That's the word. A matriarchal person.
Yeah, because she could
on
be
set.
pretty judgmental, and I thought that she did a lot with the character in not that many scenes of her kind of having a full arc of not really
Yeah.
liking and being judgmental and pretty hard, but then kind of coming around. And I thought she did a really good job.
I have to agree with you. She was very nice on set, and I think she was a great actor. Like she just brought some gravitas to Bertha, in the little time that she had on screen. Exactly.
Well, very good. We're excited for it. Well, we like to end our interviews with some silly questions. Not that the previous questions haven't also been silly, but here we go.
You have a silly answer either way, but let's see.
All right. What is the best ice cream flavor?
That is a question I get a lot. I'm an ice cream addict, so there is no best flavor. It's all gravy. And by gravy, I mean good, not gravy. But I like Cookie Monster a lot. Like it's a flavor that like pops up around in a lot of like specific like
that like blue
artsy. Yeah, it's blue and it's got like cookie dough and Oreo. I like things super sweet to beyond being able to taste it pretty much. That's how I like my stuff. I also like fish food a lot. I don't know. There's something like a good Ben and Jerry's flavor that's such a classic, like the caramel and the little things.
Yeah, that's a good one.
You're like quick little questions, and I'm like, oh god, you opened up the can of ice cream.
Now to our podcast on ice cream,
right? With your host Myko Olivier,
yes,
and guest Rachel.
What is your favorite color?
Green.
Oh, very on brand.
Yep,
Christmas
right
color.
now.
Okay, what music are you into?
I usually like rock, like classical rock, but I definitely like funk, like funky.
Oh yeah.
Whether it's funky hip hop or like funky rock, like again, play that funky music is my go-to song. But I don't know, just something that'll make me dance.
You have to watch Summer of Soul. Have you heard about this? Summer of Soul?
No.
Oh, it's so good. It's this documentary. It's on Hulu. It's about the Summer of Soul, the Harlem Cultural Music Festival in 1969, the same year as Woodstock, and it is unbelievable. Like the performances,
like
really good.
Like who? Like Earth, Wind and Fire?
Like Gladys Knight.
Oh,
and of course now my mind is blanking.
Don't worry about it. I'll check it out on Hulu.
You should check it. It's really good. There's a ton of really great people, and Mahalia Jackson, and they have like a little bit of everything. There's like gospel and soul, and I think Earth, Wind and Fire is there if I'm remembering right. But they have the people that do the the people that do the hair cover, the
like from the musical
sunshine.
Aquarius. Yeah,
that song.
Yeah.
Really good. Anyway, you should watch it. It's really good. Okay. What is your go-to date night food?
Oh boy. Probably pasta, but that's because it's my wife's favorite. She likes pasta. So usually pasta or Mexican food. But personally, I like Thai food.
Oh, very good. Okay. Maybe you go one of those like fusion restaurants.
Yes. Well, hey,
Mexican
I like noodles too. I like pasta as well, but I try not to eat it because it's too good.
All right. What is your go-to date night activity back when we can do stuff again? Go out.
I'm an actor. I want to say movie, but that sounds boring. I want to find a more exciting answer than just movie. I have done a couple of drive-in movies over the pandemic, so I can still kind of do that,
There you go.
But I think I'm going to have to say movie. And then other fun stuff like bowling. I don't know.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, bowling.
Dogs or cats?
Dogs. Sorry, I'm a human dog. That is my name. I'm like a living labradoodle.
All right, beaches or mountains?
Oh man, normally I'd say beaches, but I I'm going to say mountains. I ski and I snowboard and I go camping. That's more mountain activity, but I like lounging on the beach. So I'm still going to say mountains though.
Okay. Would you rather be in suit and tie or sweats?
Sweats.
Okay.
I'm in sweats from the waist down. You can't see it, but that's what's going on.
Yeah. I think that a lot of us are kind of, we're sweats out. Like it's been too long and now we need to
I wish I was cool enough to have like fancy sweats. I feel like there's some people who can pull off like sweats on a red carpet and like, wow,
yeah.
that guy managed to do like a sweats suit, but not like a sweatsuit, like a suit that is still sweats.
It's like Kate Hudson or, whatever the like fancy
or
Gwyneth Paltrow, all that.
Yeah. Something very breathable.
Right. Okay. What is your favorite?
Titus that could do that. Go ahead.
Yeah. What is your favorite holiday to celebrate?
Oh, probably Halloween. I like dressing up and like it's fun to be scared or creeped out a little bit, and there's all these like cool, not that I'm like a huge horror movie fan, but it's like, it's my inner child cosplay desire. It's like, I like that thing. I'm going to dress up as it.
What's your most epic costume cosplay that you've done?
My most epic, probably Inigo Montoya. Because I was working on Castle at the time and I had a mustache and longer, curlier hair, and the costumes department lent me like thigh-high boots, which was awesome. So like I got to walk around in these legit like period piece boots and a little fake sword, and I got a little name tag that said, "Hello, my name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepared to die." Like all that on the name tag. And
that's awesome.
I have pulled a lot out of nowhere though. Like I was the brawny man one year in college because I was like focusing on studying and be like, oh no, it's Halloween. Give me a roll of paper towel. I'll look very I'll be a woodsman.
You do couples costumes?
We have, yes.
Yeah. Well, because I figured that's like a big reason to get married is now you can do couple costumes.
Although she's got like the bad end of a few of them. We were we were labradoodles last year. Actually, we dressed up as our dog. Oh boy, it was like barf. But one year I was Hector Salamanca, who is the wheelchair uncle guy from Breaking Bad, who has a little bell on his thing, and I had a bald cap and I had a wheelchair. She dressed up as my nurse. But she was fine being a nurse, but like it became a lot of her pushing me around, like just like, oh man, this is kind of terrible. I'm a terrible husband. They're like, yeah, push me around all day.
Like, what did I sign up for?
Yeah. I apologize to her a lot. We actually met up with a Barack and Michelle Obama, and we had a great Thanksgiving. We had a great Halloween Thai dinner. It was fantastic.
That's great. All right, last question. What is your favorite Hallmark or romantic movie?
Favorite Hallmark or romantic movie? Trying to think of my favorite rom-coms. I want to say Annie Hall, but I just watched that Woody Allen movie documentary, and I don't want to say it, but I do want to say it because I love that movie. I do
classic.
Love you know what? I'll say When Harry Met Sally. I mean, like it feels like, oh no, You Got Mail. Ray and I actually love. Ray is my wife. Ray and I love You've Got Mail, and it's I love Tom Hanks. He's my favorite actor by a long shot, and I don't know why I didn't think of that right away. I think I just had to like go through and really focus on like, what do I love? What love do I love the most?
It's one of my favorites as well.
Oh, yeah?
I love it. I love the script. Nora Ephron, hilarious. It's so good.
She's so good. Even ones that kind of fly under the radar, like what Kate and Leopold, is that the one with Hugh Jackman? That's
and
too.
then like I like Bewitched, and a lot of people didn't like it or don't like it, but I think it's funny with Will Ferrell and
Will Ferrell.
Yeah, Nicole Kidman. But yeah, she was incredible. She was a great writer, and yeah, I love it's. You've Got Mail is super quotable. We could go back and forth, and it has such a great cast.
And
Dave
hashtag better
Chappelle.
than Sleepless in Seattle. No, I'll start
Yeah.
fights with this. Sleepless in Seattle is great. It is not as good as You've Got Mail. Plus, it also
I don't even think that Sleepless in Seattle should be counted as a comedy. I think it's a drama about grief and overcoming
Right.
it. Like, it's sad.
It's a grief and love story, right? He
Yeah.
lost his wife and he's trying to see if he can love again. Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
But
But You've Got Mail is
great
great.
choice.
It pulls you back into those times, if you lived them, of AIM and like chat
Mhm.
rooms and stuff.
Greg
And, like,
Kinnear, so great.
They're
I
all
love
good.
Parker Posey in it. Hilarious.
mhm.
So I'm with you. It's one of my favorites as well. So good choice. Well,
Thank you very much.
you
I'm
did
glad
it.
I'm glad I landed on it. It took me a second, but that's where I was like, oh wait, of course.
Yeah. Well, you did it. You answered all the questions. You passed the test.
Woohoo! I'm officially a Hall star now.
That's right.
I've earned the title.
Yes. So do you have social media you'd like to share?
Yes, I am. This is Myko on Instagram and Twitter and TikTok, even though I don't really use it. I should, but I don't. But those, yeah, Instagram is probably the best one to follow me on.
Okay. We'll put that in the description. People make sure to follow you and make sure y'all check out the movie this weekend on Hallmark Channel this Sunday, upcoming Sunday. Check it out. And you can find me at Rachel's Reviews, all of our social media, iTunes, YouTube, and on Rotten Tomatoes. Check that out. And also make sure you're following the podcast at Hallmarkies Pod and Hallmarkies Podcast, all of our social media. And if you are listening on iTunes, please leave your ratings and reviews. We really appreciate that. And if you're watching on YouTube, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. We would appreciate that so much as well. And thank you so much for coming on and talking with us, Myko. It was really fun. I had a great time. And we'll have to have you on again.
Thank you very much for having me, Rachel.
Yeah. All right. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye, everyone.
Bye.